Hi, everybody. My name is Shawn Daugherty. I'm with the Broadband Equity Partnership, supporting the California Department of Technology's Office of Broadband and Digital Literacy with their digital equity programming. My colleague Nguyen is here from OBDL as well. So, about 2 weeks ago or so, OBDL, the Office of Broadband and Digital Literacy, opened a survey to have digital inclusion and digital equity program service providers provide information to update our online digital equity resource finder. So that survey has been live for about 2 weeks. Through this enhanced resource survey or resource finder that we're producing, we want to know what kind of programs and services are being offered on the ground in your community. The survey will be open until January 12th. We're urging people and organizations to complete this sooner rather than later. And the refined and enhanced digital equity resource finder, we hope to launch that in Q1 2026. As part of this process, we will do a demo of the survey in a moment so you can see all the information we're inquiring about and how it'll be utilized. We're bringing in all of this information now and then shutting off the survey on January 12th, producing the resource finder in an effort to make sure the information on the resource finder is relevant and up to date. We're going to be doing a refresh every 6 months. So we'll be reaching out to the organizations that are part of the finder to make sure that information is the best at that time. But if at any time kind of throughout the year you want to proactively reach out and say, we've added a new location or we've added a new programming, that can absolutely be done by emailing this email address on the website. New organizations can be added throughout the year once the new resource finder does go live. And again, we want to hear from the county libraries, but we also want to know all of those individual service locations so that if someone goes into the finder and says, I'm a resident and I'm located in San Francisco County or Alameda County or Los Angeles County, they're able to get all of the resources in that area down to a granular location. We're going to have a tabular view as well as, fingers crossed, a mapping functionality as well. We have a bulk upload form for organizations with more than 5 locations. So we've got this kind of nice traction and ongoing conversation with entities as well. And then, there is a README file provided, and we'll point that out because I know sometimes people like to see what are all the questions before I go into the survey. So we have a form there that you can download so you can see all the questions that we're going to be inquiring about in the survey as opposed to going in, because unlike prior surveys we've launched, if you go in and then go out, your data will not be saved. So we know that that is kind of a consideration for some folks. This is the contact information for the Broadband for All email. We recommend people sign up for that. Here is a contact email. If there's any questions about anything Ann or I talk about next, we're going to do a demo and answer any questions that come in. Feel free to reach out. If anybody works for an organization or consortium or a coalition and you'd like us to do this demo, we're happy to do that as well. And again, this is kind of our landing page and just talks about the purpose, what the intentionality of collecting all of this information is for, and how we intend to use it. Again, we really want to hear from digital inclusion service providers, and these are kind of the services we're focusing on. Low-cost internet service programs, I think that's a nice segue from CPUC, digital navigation, whether virtual or in person, digital skills and literacy training, public Wi-Fi locations or, public computer centers. Those are the digital inclusion services we want to learn more and hear more about. Organizations, nonprofits, government agencies, experts, really, we're wanting to hear from a whole host of individuals and organizations. And, essentially, if you work in this space, we want to hear from you. As I mentioned, answers are not saved. The ones marked by an asterisk are required. This should only take about 10 minutes to complete. As when you open it up, you'll see that the questions are hopefully pretty easy, and a lot of you will have the information at hand. You'll see at the bottom the link to the README file. You're able to download the PDF from there. So if we can click on complete the survey there, and that'll take us to the next phase. And this is kind of acknowledgments and authority for collecting information. So at the bottom, there's going to have to be 3 boxes that you're acknowledging that you've read the information, that you allow the information to be posted online, that you are a person who is able to complete this form on behalf of your organization. Once you've acknowledged those criteria, the form opens up below. The beginning is organizational information, your name, email address, if you have more than one location, or if you're like an online organization that serves statewide, it would be, your organization's information there. Question two is, who is to be the point of contact. Doesn't necessarily need to be the person completing the form, but maybe the executive director or the head of programming. Here's their name, position and title, and business email address to be provided. Question number three is what type of entity you are. There are three sections, and you must mark one item for each section, even though you might be, say, a nonprofit organization, or maybe you're from a local library or a school district. So you're going to want to mark the one that represents the organization you are. And then the last option in the other two fields are not a government or public organization or not a private sector entity. Find the one you want and say, I'm not one of these in the other two fields. For question number four, check all that apply. If you provide one of these services, that's fantastic. Please be inclusive. Check as many as you'd like. Service locations can be statewide, countywide, multiple counties, or citywide. If you click on countywide, the form opens up and you can mark all the counties you serve. If you've marked countywide or citywide, it'll then give you. Let's click on one. San Mateo. We can scroll down. It'll offer you all the major cities within San Mateo. I am in Daly City or Foster City. You can say I serve citywide or countywide. It also gives you the option of being a little bit more, I'd say maybe if you just serve a more discrete or smaller population, such as you're with a housing authority, services only offered to people residing within public housing buildings under your authority, or you're from a school and your services are offered to families of students who go to those institutions. It allows us to be broad for statewide, or also very narrow if that is a population you serve, as well as tribes. Maybe you serve multiple tribes, but also allows you to click on other if you want to be more descriptive. So we're trying to be very encompassing here of the populations and the geographies you serve. We inquire about whether it's virtual or in person. You can serve both. So you can click off both. But if you do mark off in person, this is where it's going to ask you for those physical locations. If you're a library, San Mateo County Libraries, you can go in here and add in all of your branches. You happen to have more than 5 branches, that is where we encourage you to bulk upload, reach out to us. We can send that form over to you and have a conversation on how to complete that if it doesn't happen to be clear from our instructions, but we hope it is. With physical locations, we inquire about hours of operation and if you have a local web page for that site. You can add up to 5 physical locations. Moving further down in the form, I notice we're getting close to the top of the hour. We inquire about whether there's a fee under or over $25. We also inquire about populations you serve. Do you serve organizations that are below 150% of the federal poverty level? And click on yes. This dives deeper. Do you serve individuals with disabilities or older adults? So again, diving more into those populations. Question 11 is focused on languages. These are the most popular languages spoken or in California, but acknowledging that's not all of them. So really want to be able to be open and as accessible to as many individuals and households as possible. This is important information for us. In addition to hearing about services organizations provide to residents or households, we're also interested in hearing about services organizations might provide to other organizations. Maybe that's partnership opportunities or organizational training, train the trainer models, things of that nature. So we inquire about services like that because we heard from organizations that was in, kind of who can we work with, who can we partner with in this space and in what way? And then just kind of wrapping it up is whether or not your organization charges organizations for any of that collaboration, whether it's grant writing support, collective action or information sharing. And that's it. That's the whole form. 13 questions.